Welcome to this week's Security Report. I'm Paul McAdam. Thanks for joining us. On Friday, November 29, Commander of Region 7 unfolded his division's Christmas policing strategies for the period November 15 to January 15, 2020 at the Regional Administrative Boardroom. An electronic presentation highlighted how the team will proactively suppress criminal activities, prevent crime and traffic lawlessness. The presentation was attended by Regional Chairman Gordon Bradford, Regional Executive Officer Corinne Ward, and key stakeholders of the business community. Kevin London, the OIC in charge of Subdivision Number 1, reassured the gathering that considerations will be given to all suggestions made. On November 28, Deputy Superintendent Ravindra Stanley, the OIC in charge of Number 3, Subdivision Regional Division Number 4A, along with Sergeant Materiel Small, Corporals Laverne Norton and Lyndon Williams, with Constables Asina Miller, Mark Blake and Daniel Jansen, conducted a walkabout in Regent and Robb Streets and around the border market in Georgetown. During the walkabout, the team interacted with several persons who voiced concerns which were addressed by the team. The team also met commuters and promised an increased police presence during the festive season at the bus and car parks. They also visited ranks performing duties at various beats and booths within the vicinity. A high-speed chase December 5 by Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit ranks resulted in the arrest of a 30-year-old resident of Zeeburg, West Coast Demerara, who was caught with just over 68 pounds of marijuana. Azim Ali, called Boyo of Zeeburg, was the driver of motorcar PPP 7790, which was transporting some 30 kilograms of marijuana. 3 passengers managed to escape and are being sought by the police. The Guyana Prison Service and Guyana Police Force ranks on Saturday, December 7, conducted routine searches of the Camp Street, Lusignan, Mary, New Amsterdam, and Mazroni prisons. The following prohibited items were found: 48 improvised weapons, 11 cell phones, 9 SIM cards, a quantity of AAA batteries and suspected cannabis, along with suspected ecstasy powder, 19 smoking utensils, 14 metal spoons, a memory card, 7 cell phone batteries, 12 cell phone chargers, 51 cigarette lighters, a quantity of razor blades, 5 links of rope, a quantity of cigarettes, a hacksaw blade, a nail kit for manicures and pedicures, sandpaper pieces, 13 pieces of wire, 4 pairs of scissors, construction nails, 8 USB cables, a mirror, steel wool, and 5 bottles and 2 5-gallons of homemade wine. On Saturday, November 30, the Traffic Department concluded National Road Safety Week with a driver's symposium at the Officers Training Center, chaired by Deputy Superintendent Joseph Jack. Traffic Chief Senior Superintendent Lyndon Isles educated the drivers on the importance of defensive driving. He also applauded the efforts made by the drivers of participating organizations. The chief also elaborated on the fact that, quote, "It shall be the responsibility of every driver who is in charge of a motor vehicle whilst ensuring the roads to ensure that he or she is not involved in an accident or an accident-causing situation. No lack of action or action on his or her part should contribute to an accident. As such, he or she should be on the lookout for those errant drivers and irresponsible road users," end of quote. Deputy Superintendent of Police Timothy Williams highlighted the minor traffic offenses and consequences. Drivers were also reminded on the importance of signs, signals, and road markings by Inspector Reem Clark, the Traffic Education Officer. Drivers present included those from the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, the Guyana Fire Service, GPL, BK International, Banks DH Limited, GTM, GT&T, GRA, Republic Bank, the Ministry of Finance, and also included members of the force and other private agencies. The Guyana Association of Women Police, GAWP, on Monday, December 2, hosted a grand church service at the Police Officers' Mess Annex, Yonge Street, Ivleary, to commemorate their 7th anniversary. The theme for this year's anniversary is promoting gender equality and professional development for women in law enforcement. Chairperson, Woman Inspector Roxanne Wall, with Woman Superintendent Lauren Saul, who welcomed all, reflected on the contributions the association has made in the development and betterment of its members since its establishment in 2012, as well as the upkeep of the association's mandate of empowering women. On December 3, the force bid a sad farewell to the late Superintendent Brian Oswald Eastman. A Thanksgiving service was held at the Central Seventh-day Adventist Church on Church and Arnold Streets in Georgetown. The funeral service was also attended by the Minister of Public Security, Comrade Ramjatan, senior military officials, and the heads of various agencies. He was laid to rest at the Repentir Cemetery. Eastman, described as one of the force's rising stars, was killed along with his best friend Delon de Ramos after their Lexus GX 470 crashed into the fence of Yokohama Training at Liliendal on November 26. And a happy birthday goes out to Superintendent Keithon King, the commander for Region 9, from the Commissioner of Police, his admin team, regional branch commanders, senior and junior officers, inspectors, and other ranks of the Guyana Police Force. Superintendent Keithon celebrated his birthday December 4. Commander of Regional Police Division Number 10, Superintendent Hugh Winter, on December 4, visited Amelia's ward, Linden. He and his team met several business owners and residents and promised an increased police presence in the community for the festive season. His initiative was much appreciated by residents who indicated their full support for law enforcement and also boosted the strengthening of the already cordial relationship that exists between the force and members of the community. A two-day training seminar on the Juvenile Justice Act was conducted between the 3rd and 4th of December at the Indigenous Peoples Conference Hall, Central Linden. The training, which was geared to sensitize participants on the purpose of the Juvenile Justice Act, saw them learning about rehabilitation, education, and the need to reintegrate juvenile defenders. It also highlighted the various ways that a juvenile must be dealt with once he or she has come into conflict with the law. It also emphasized the various measures of diversion and how it is to be done once possible. The training was welcomed by the Commander for Division Number 9, Superintendent Keithon King. The Commander thanked the officials for providing the participants with the opportunity to understand the importance of the Juvenile Justice Act, the reason for the said act, and the implementation of it where practicable. There were a total of 41 participants, which included Ransom Letem and the other outlying stations, as well as 2 shows and various village leaders and representatives. On Thursday, December 5, Regional Police Division 4, Section B, Echoes Moblissa, received a timely donation from Shahab Haq. The Georgetown businessman and staunch road safety advocate presented more than 12 traffic warrants and 15 reflective vests to the division. Receiving on behalf of the division was the Commander Senior Superintendent Curly Simon in the presence of his traffic officer, Assistant Superintendent Jermaine Harper. On Thursday 5 also, the officer in charge of Number 1 Subdivision in Regional Police Division Number 4B, Deputy Superintendent Marlon Taylor, and his team conducted a walkabout in the Caneville Grove East Bank Demerara community that commenced at Hammerhead Turn and concluded at Wrong Turn Bridge. The team was joined by the commander of 4B, Senior Superintendent Curly Simon, and they interacted with those present. And birthday greetings go out to the OIC in charge of the Tactical Services Unit, Superintendent Guy Nurse, who celebrated that specially on December 6. Greetings are coming to you from the Commissioner of Police and all ranks of the force. Recruits were treated with a sumptuous lunch served by the Commissioner and members of the administrative team on December 6th at the Police Officers' Mess Annex. Assistant Commissioner Training Clifton Haking extended season's greetings to all stakeholders who have supported the training department for the year. The Felix Austin Police College's trainees put on a talented extravaganza for those in attendance with music, dance, and a well-put-together skit titled Being Your Brother's Keeper in the Season of Giving and Good Cheer. Dressed in khaki shirts, brown belts, black pants, and skirts with their shoes bulbed to perfection, 86 ranks proudly graduated as special constables, and they will now serve as members of the Guyana Police Force under that umbrella. The graduation ceremony for course number 2 of 2019 concluded December 10 at the Police Officers Training Center, Camp Road, Iflary. During the 2 months training stint, which commenced on October 10, the ranks were exposed to drills, firearms training, anger management, communications, and basic policing tactics. Deputy Commissioner Administration Paul Williams, DSM, charged ranks to remain disciplined and to put what is being taught to them into practice. He also urged them to make their families, communities, and themselves proud as they enter the world of work. Special Constable 15840 Joshua De Arnels copped the best graduating student, while Special Constable 15893 Tashilo Sampson was his runner-up. The Most Improved Student Award went to Special Constable 15856 Saxilla Harris. 3 officers of the Guyana Police Force were recently recognized for their sterling efforts in this year's President's Gold Medal Essay Competition, which was assessed by the Institute of Distance and Continuing Education, the IDCE. The competition, which is open to members of the force from the level of constable to assistant superintendent, aims to challenge participants' skills and argumentation in the fields of research and writing. It further provides ranks with an opportunity to offer their viewpoints on topical issues and make recommendations which can better help the force to address same. This year's topic was migration to Guyana, its benefits, challenges, and recommendations for effective management. Although the essays were very good, they did not reach the required standard for the awarding of the President's Gold Medal. Nonetheless, for the force, the winners are first place Assistant Superintendent James Tapping of Tactical Services Unit. In second place was Cadet Officer Ike Grandison of the Public Relations Office. And third place went to Assistant Superintendent Ronald Alley of the Tactical Services Unit. Now for some highlights from the Guyana Defense Force. On December 1, the Guyana People's Militia celebrated its 4th anniversary since being resuscitated. In his congratulatory message, its former commandant and current GDF Chief of Staff, Brigadier Patrick West, MSS, said the force is proud of the regular and reserve service members of the unit, which has a proud history. He said, quote, "Your role in augmenting the regular force, providing a ready civil defense response, provision of security at bordering locations, and participation in force exercises are indicative of increasing incorporation into the force." The Chief of Staff further charged the GPM's leadership and ranks to continue their expansion and capacity building as their regional roles increase. He urged those ranks to continue to represent the force well in their public interactions. Sergeant Chris Corbin was the top graduate of the second and final Skill at Arms course conducted for the year. Sergeant Travis Lewis, who copped the award for Best Shot, was runner-up. 43 students, including 5 from the Guyana Police Force and 2 each from the Guyana Prison Service and City Constabulary, graduated on December 2. The commanding officer for the No. 4 Engineers Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Selwell Austin, congratulated the participants, saying that, quote, "During the course, you covered several modules. Each have the same weight of importance because the course was designed to enhance your proficiency in shooting and weapons handling and also rehearse you in those skills so that you're prepared to coach members of your unit or in your sister services." End of quote. The graduates were also encouraged to maintain the network amongst themselves so they may benefit from continuous learning experiences. Lieutenant Colonel Austin also urged graduates to embrace the values and standards of the GDF since they are a necessary guide to professional soldiering. And the Chief of Staff, Patrick West, MSS, on December 3, awarded 500 soldiers and civilians employees with monetary incentives for outstanding performances during the year. The activity was the traditional incentive ceremony held at the Auditorium Base Camp in Guyana. The awardees were selected from every unit across the force. The Brigadier congratulated the awardees for being duly recognized by their respective commanders. He said, quote, "Because of your efforts, we had a good year," end of quote. The Chief of Staff also said he was proud of the fact that those individuals could be justly rewarded for the efforts which they made to improve their own standards. The annual incentive ceremony is meant to recognize and reward the efforts of generally exemplary performance, foster morale, and encourage teamwork. And 16 GDF ranks received certificates as they graduated December 4 from a 7-day bartending program offered by the Carnegie School of Home Economics. The new mixologists are set to demonstrate their capabilities at various functions which will be held across the force from time to time. Base Commander Major Earl Edgell said the soldiers can now stand shoulder to shoulder with their peers in the hospitality industry, noting that, quote, "These soldiers are employed at various messes across the GDF and were drawn from the Air Corps, Base Camp in Ghana, Base Camp Stevenson, and the Coast Guard. Exposing them to this skill training is in keeping with the force's policy on the development of its human resources." The course was conducted under the aegis of the Office of the Staff Officer 1 General 5 SO1G5, which is responsible for overseeing the training of GDF troops at external institutions. And Christmas has officially arrived at the GDF with officers and ranks of the Coastal Battalion and Coast Guard at New Amsterdam observing Traditional Soldiers' Day at that location December 5. The ranks began their observances with gunfire, the enactment of skits, and other cultural items before going on to enjoy the traditional Christmas lunch at which they were served by senior officers. And the brigadier and the team from Defense Headquarters took some Christmas cheer to ranks at Camp Jaguar in New River on Thursday, November 5. As is tradition, residents of the small community also participated in the celebrations. The brigadier thanked residents for their support throughout the year and encouraged ranks to continue serving with pride. Adjutant General Colonel Sharon Anderson and Commander of the Coast Guard Commander Orrin Porter on Monday took Christmas cheer to the ranks serving at Fort Island, Essequibo River. Colonel Anderson extended greetings to the ranks on behalf of the Chief of Staff and other officers of the force. The residents of the community also shared in the celebrations. And the Chief of Staff and several senior and junior officers joined troops at Kankunuku in Letem for the traditional Soldiers' Day, this time on Saturday, December 7. The day's activities saw the assemblage of villages and several representatives from other disciplined services. Customarily, the troops stationed at the location provide security for the country's territorial borders during the festive seasons, and they will be away from their families. As a result, the Chief of Staff thanked the ranks for their services and urged them to remain steadfast and diligent during the execution of their duties. And GDF troops at location Itteringban were joined by the Chief of Staff and several senior officers for their Soldiers' Day celebration on Tuesday, December 10. Residents of the surrounding community, along with members of the Guyana Police Force who were posted in the area, also enjoyed some Christmas cheer. As is customary, the ranks entertained the assemblage with various cultural items, and afterwards, Brigadier West and the officers served lunch to the soldiers and their guests. Even as the festive season approaches, the troops will remain in full security mode, offering protection and security for the location, the community, and the border area. Recognizing their professional sacrifice to secure our nation, Brigadier West thanked the ranks for their selfless service and urged them to remain alert and diligent during the execution of their duties. Training Corps Sergeant Ronald Gordon was the top graduate of the second and final drill course for this year, which concluded December 12 at the Lecture Hall Base Camp Guyana. Corporal Nikito Nestor of the GPM finished in the runner-up spot, with Corporal Nelroy Hicks, also of GPM, snagging the award for Best Drill. Lieutenant Colonel Sean Harmon urged the 20 graduates to continue their pursuit of excellence. He cautioned that this achievement does not complete them as military personnel, but rather serves to enhance their capability in this particular area of skill. Among the graduates were 3 ranks of the Guyana Fire Service, 1 each from the Guyana Prison Service and City Constabulary. 21 officer cadets currently undergoing training on Standard Officers Course number 52 on December 12 concluded exercise Strip Flare at the Colonel John Clark Military School in Tacoma. The 5-day exercise was designed to test the cadets' ability to administer and command a platoon in a limited warfare scenario in the open country theater. It also included 21 troops, each from the Guyana People's Militia and the Jaguar Company. Chief of Staff Brigadier Patrick West, along with the Commanding Officer for Training Corps, Lieutenant Colonel Ken Lloyd Robert, witnessed the final attack of the exercise and congratulated the cadets and training staff for a job well done. According to the Chief of Staff, he was satisfied with the efforts made in this major phase of their training. He urged the cadets to continue putting their best foot forward. Prior to the close of the exercise, the Brigadier interacted with the cadets in some of their scenarios where he was briefed of particular tactics and strategic operations being conducted. On this week's wanted list, 43-year-old Handel Mervyn Lynch is wanted for questioning in relation to obtaining by false pretense committed on Rajkumar C. Narayan and Diane Budram. His last known address is given as Lot 4096 Well Road, North Rhineveld, and Lot 209 Prashad Nagar, Georgetown. 50-year-old Gopal Tiwari, aka Umkar, is also wanted for questioning in relation to the same charge, obtaining by false pretense, this time committed on Gobaran Koalal, Narish Lachman, Narish Chitram, Dinesh Ramsamy, Ethan Gladstone, Zaman Bollers, and Wendell Harry. His last known address is Lot 73, 2nd Street, Craig Village, in the East Bank of Demerara. And last but not least, 26 years old Terence Pitt, also known as Sonnerboy or Shots, is wanted by the police for questioning in relation to murder committed on Dal Brady on the 5th of November at North Rhineveld, Georgetown. His last known address, B Field Sophia and 3rd Street, Timeri, East Bank, Demerara. Anyone with information that may lead to the arrest of the suspects is asked to contact the police on telephone numbers 333-5564, 333-2151, 333-2152, 2258196, 2262870, 2271149, 2267065 911, or their nearest police station. That's it for this week's Security Report. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.